Brian Kilmeade critiques Obama's legacy, didn't produce powerful figures. Brian Kilmeade delivered a sharp assessment of former President Barack Obama's political legacy, claiming it failed to cultivate influential leaders within the Democratic Party. The comments, made amid ongoing reflections on the 2024 presidential election and its aftermath, have sparked discussions about the long-term impact of Obama's 2 terms in office from 2009 to 2017. Kilmeade's remarks also touched on Obama's recent public appearances, where the former president was accused of mocking prominent Republican figures, adding fuel to partisan debates in a politically charged post-election landscape. The context. Kilmeade's segment on One Nation. Kilmeade, a longtime Fox News personality known for his co-hosting duties on Fox and Friends, and his radio show, used the platform of One Nation to reflect on Obama's influence in contemporary American politics. In the episode, titled in part as a reflection on Obama's legacy, Kilmeade argued that despite Obama's historic election as the first black president and his administration's achievements in areas like healthcare reform and economic recovery from the Great Recession, the era did not yield enduring, powerful figures to carry the Democratic torch forward. Obama's legacy didn't produce powerful figures, Kilmeade stated, according to sources familiar with the broadcast. He elaborated that while Obama himself remains a charismatic and articulate speaker, his presidency left a void in Democratic leadership, pointing to the perceived weaknesses of successors like President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Kilmeade suggested that this lack of strong protégés contributed to the Democratic Party's struggles in the 2024 election, where Republicans, led by President Donald Trump in his successful comeback bid, reclaimed the White House. The segment also highlighted Obama's recent criticisms of Republican leaders. Kilmeade accused Obama of mocking the most powerful Republican figure of our generation, a clear reference to Trump. Obama mocked the most powerful Republican figure of our generation, Kilmeade said, framing it as part of a broader pattern of divisiveness from the former president. This came in the wake of Obama's post-election commentary, where he has been vocal about the direction of the country under the new administration, including speeches and interviews that some conservatives view as attempts to undermine Trump's mandate. Kilmeade's critique aligns with a narrative often pushed on conservative media outlets, portraying Obama's tenure as one of unfulfilled promise and ideological overreach. He referenced Obama's handling of foreign policy, such as the Iran nuclear deal and relations with Russia, as examples where long-term gains were absent, leading to current global challenges that Trump has vowed to address in his second term. Historical backdrop. Obama's legacy in focus. To understand Kilmeade's comments, it's essential to revisit Obama's presidency. Elected in 2008 amid economic turmoil and war weariness, Obama promised hope and change. Key accomplishments included the Affordable Care Act (ACA), which expanded health insurance to millions, the auto industry bailout, and the killing of Osama bin Laden. Economically, the U.S. saw steady job growth, with unemployment dropping from 10% in 2009 to 4.7% by the end of his term. However, critics like Kilmeade argue that Obama's legacy lacks depth in grooming future leaders. Biden, Obama's vice president, ascended to the presidency in 2020 but faced criticisms over his age and handling of issues like inflation and border security, culminating in a challenging 2024 campaign. Harris, who served as Biden's VP, was seen by some as a product of Obama's endorsement but struggled to build a broad coalition. Kilmeade's point echoes sentiments from conservative commentators that Obama's focus on progressive policies alienated moderates and failed to build a sustainable Democratic bench. In contrast, Republicans point to Trump's ability to reshape the GOP, producing figures like Senators J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, who have risen as influential voices. Kilmeade's segment drew parallels, suggesting Obama's era produced more division than durable leadership. Reactions from political figures and media. Kilmeade's remarks quickly drew responses across the political spectrum. On X, formerly Twitter, users debated the validity of his claims. One post from user @JohnMcCloy captured conservative frustration. Brian Kilmeade asks, "Why won't Obama just go away?" The answer: Brian is because he was running a show government against Trump's first term, helped steal an election and that ran Biden as Obama's third term and tried to install Kamala for his fourth. He's beyond pissed at himself for his hubris pushing Trump into the race, who then came and took the keys to the White House from him and then embarrassed him by not only destroying his entire career but he destroyed Obama's whole legacy. 19. Another user, at Socialisma, referenced a Daily Mail article criticizing Obama's post-election demeanor. Full article. Obama in shambles after liberals realize his legacy is actually trash. 30. This reflects a growing narrative among some on the left that Obama's influence has waned, with biographers noting his tone-deaf approach to recent Democratic setbacks. Former President Trump, in a recent interview with Kilmeade himself, dismissed Obama's relevance. Nobody listens to him. 49. Trump has frequently criticized Obama, blaming him for economic policies that he claims were inherited and improved upon during his first term. In a 2024 radio appearance on Kilmeade's show, Trump reiterated that the economy didn't suddenly get strong under Donald Trump, countering claims that Obama's recovery laid the groundwork. 8. Democrats, however, pushed back. A spokesperson for the Obama Foundation declined to comment directly but pointed to ongoing initiatives like the Obama Presidential Center, which has faced its own controversies, including a $40 million racial bias lawsuit. 57. Supporters argue that Obama's legacy includes empowering diverse voices, such as through his endorsements of figures like Pete Buttigieg and Cory Booker, though none have yet reached the presidency. Media outlets varied in their coverage. Fox News amplified Kilmeade's segment, with headlines emphasizing the mockery angle. 52. Progressive sites like PolitiFact have historically fact-checked similar claims, noting that economic metrics under Trump continued trends from Obama's final years. 8. The Guardian, in a 2019 piece on Fox News, described the network's coverage as often biased toward Republicans, which could color Kilmeade's commentary. 13. Broader implications for American politics. Kilmeade's critique raises questions about how legacies are measured. Is it through policy endurance, like the ACA's survival despite repeal attempts? Or through the leaders inspired? Obama's defenders highlight his role in diversifying the Democratic Party, paving the way for women and people of color in high office. Critics, including Kilmeade, see it as a period of polarization, with issues like race relations and foreign entanglements lingering as unresolved challenges. In the current administration, Trump has moved to undo aspects of Obama's policies, such as reimposing tariffs and renegotiating trade deals. Kilmeade praised Trump's approach in a separate segment, noting his successful crime crackdown in D.C. as adding to his legacy. 2. As the nation navigates Trump's second term, debates over Obama's influence will likely persist. Kilmeade's comments underscore a divided America, where one president's achievements are another's failures. Whether Obama's legacy truly lacks powerful figures may depend on the lens, partisan or historical, but it remains a flashpoint in the ongoing culture wars.